first thing you've got to deal with is picking up the weights themselves. So I've got 2 kettlebells down here. I'm going to get my feet around shoulder width apart, and I'm going to deadlift these weights up. So get nice and low, flat back, lift with the legs and stand them up so I'm ready to go into my farmer's walk. The farmer's walk itself is a very simple exercise with a few key aspects that you've got to make sure you get right. I talk about stacking a lot when it comes to exercises, and this is really important when it comes to the farmer's walk. When I'm talking about stacking, I'm talking about my body position and where it all aligns. So using the stick here, I want to keep my body as in line as possible when performing a farmer's walk, as this will provide me with a strong foundation and allow me to perform the exercise a lot more efficiently. Some common things that can happen in a farmer's walk is those weights pull you forward and you begin to round the body and get pulled down this way, or you can lift the chest up too high with the weights behind you and putting a big arch in the back and kind of walking this way. Both tend to happen due to fatigue, and the problem with both is that they both start to ignore the core rather than utilize it. At the end of the day, the farmer's walk is a core exercise, so you want to really focus on the core when performing it, and the stacking I'm referring to is really going to help you with that. For example, if I've got a big arch in the back here and I'm carrying these weights, then my back is going to take a lot of the strain, my shoulder's going to get tired because they're kind of out of position too, and I'm having to work harder to hold those weights. It's going to be harder for me to maintain an efficient walk without losing balance and wasting energy. Whereas if you can tuck those hips under, so my hips are now directly under my shoulders, and brace the core, so I'm nice and strong in this position here. My shoulders are stacked over my core, my hips are nice and under my core, and I can move a lot more efficiently without having to worry about as much control. So when you pick the weights up, first of all, to go into a farmer's walk, that's what you want to initiate first. Deadlift those weights, tuck those hips, brace that core, make sure the shoulders are nice and relaxed, and I'm just going to walk forwards from here into my farmer's walk. You may have just picked up on me saying relax the shoulders, and that is quite important. The shoulders are already having to do a lot, so if we're tensing up here and really trying to strain to keep these weights, we're just going to be wasting energy too. So once we've set those shoulders down and relaxed, we just want to keep them in position whilst performing the walk. In terms of where the weights sit, we're never going to be trying to lift big heavy weights away from the body, but what we also want to avoid is the weights crashing against our legs and causing us an issue when trying to move forward. So when you're in that position, make sure the arms hang naturally so we're not wasting too much energy whilst they're not right in front of you or crashing into your legs. Make sure you're doing enough to open up the chest and brace the core, but they're not going to get in the way of you moving. For example, you can see here, if I let my shoulders collapse, they're already slightly in front of my thighs and they're going to start to get in the way. Now, if you have to perform the farmer's walk at speed, whether you're in a race like a Hyrox or just performing a farmer's walk in an AMRAP where time and speed is a major factor, then you're going to have to accept that your farmer's walk is going to be faster, which is going to cause more sway and reduce control in the movement. So the faster you move throughout your farmer's walk, the harder it's going to be to control those weights, and there's going to be some more sway forward and backwards. So when it comes down to these scenarios, you've just got to control the body as best you can in the situation you're in. Avoid moving at a speed where you're going to lose control of the weights or your body, and still put a big focus on the core so you're still staying stable, putting weight on the back or any other areas that you don't need to, just to try and move a bit faster. When you don't have to worry about speed and just applying farmer's walks to your general training, I do recommend taking it slower, more controlled, focusing on that core bracing, focusing on that positioning, as that will help you in all other exercises like deadlifts and squats, which is exactly why we're looking to perform the farmer's walk. And the most important thing when it comes to the farmer's walk is go heavy. Now make sure you stay within your capabilities, but otherwise you do want to push the farmer's walk as much as you can. You won't gain much if you go light on the weights. We really want to test the core as well as the grip and the rest of the body when it comes to the farmer's walk, and we need to go heavy to do that. So we want to be pushing to those positions where you are struggling to hold the weights or move a certain distance with the weights over long periods of time, because this will push the body and allow for more adaptations over time so that your core becomes a lot stronger and you're able to brace a lot more efficiently, so you're able to perform those big compound exercises without having to worry about the core being a limiting factor.